So, we are going to be doing professional mode here on Actraiser. This is something I've been wanting to do for a long time, I just never got around to it. Because I LP'd Actraiser way back in like 2009 or something. So, we're going to do professional mode, which if you don't know, you unlock by beating the game. And it's basically like hard mode, but you don't do the simulation mode, you just do the action modes. So, we're going to do this. It's going to be pretty cool. You also start with the max HP, and you have no magic, and enemies take more hits. So, I believe it's based more on the Japanese version of the game. So yeah, it's kind of cool. And really, the key to this mode is to get all the one-ups you possibly can. That's pretty much the key, because, I mean, 5 lives is probably enough, but, you know, it's always good to get as many lives as you can, especially for the final boss gauntlet. So that's what we're going to be doing here. There's our 1-up. And of course, since there's no magic, anytime you would normally pick up a source of magic, instead it'll be the little angel pickup that destroys all enemies on screen. So that's pretty much how that works. I think there are a few points where it'll actually be a 1-up. But it's usually one of those destroy all enemies on screen pickups since we can't use magic. Yeah, alright. But yeah, if you're not really familiar with this game, I would highly recommend checking it out because it's such a classic. Okay, so this boss is about as easy as it gets. Just kind of attack him. Avoid his lightning, you know, crouch when he does his jousting lance thingamajigger, and yeah, you're pretty much good to go. Definitely not a difficult boss by any stretch of the imagination. And yeah, if you notice, all bosses will have the same health as you, which was not the case in the originals. So yeah. So yeah, that's arguably the easiest level in the game. I don't know though. So this level is where they kind of start giving you multiple paths you can take. It doesn't really matter which way you go, really. Coming up here, you can go to the kind of like up and to the left, or you can go to the right. We're gonna go up and to the left. That's the way I usually go. Although in the actual game, to get as many points as possible, I usually take both paths, but I don't think we're going to do that. We don't really need to do that. Points aren't really that important in professional mode. I mean, I like to get as many points as I can, but still, it's like, eh. You also, like, don't want to lose lives, so, you know. And I should mention there's no, like, saving in this mode. You just go all the way through. And if you get a game over, I think you start all the way from the beginning. I'm not really sure on that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. So yeah, we could go down there. Like down into the left. You can go right to where there's some health, but we don't really need that. Kind of a hidden little health power-up, but we're not going to do that. There's a partial health there. Not a big deal. Oh yeah, this guy. The only point in the game where this guy appears. He takes quite a few hits, and he's usually going to damage you. At least once, but, you know, not really that big of a deal. So yeah, if you're not familiar with the Actraiser games, I definitely recommend checking them out, because they're absolute classics. I mean, they were made by Quintet, which made some of the best games ever back in the day. Their games always had, like, some of the most interesting concepts, and they were executed so well. And they always have like such great music and just great games. Especially back in the SNES days. Okay. There's some health. So this next boss, the Minotaur, it isn't really too bad. His attacks are hard to avoid, but I usually just kind of go all out. Because he's definitely going to go down before you go down, so... Especially if you have full health. So... Not really too much of a threat there. It becomes more problematic during the final boss gauntlet, because you don't get healed in between bosses, so... Yeah. It kind of becomes a problem there, but it's not a big deal here. Bum bum. I'm not speedrunning this game, by the way. No. Since I'm going to be going out of my way to get all the pickups that I can. I think the world record for professional mode speedrun is like 20-some minutes or something. I seriously doubt I could ever do that, but, you know. I can probably beat professional mode in under an hour, I would say. You know, as long as I don't fail too badly. I mean, I have practiced this a fair bit, so I should be okay. I shouldn't do too bad. The boss of this level is also pretty easy, especially if you know its pattern, which I do. It can also be easy to die if you don't, because he can knock you into the, you know, the lava or the blood pool or whatever it is. Instantly killing you, but come on now. If you know his attack pattern, there shouldn't be any chance of that happening. Bum bum. Hello, sir. Don't you throw your rocks at me. Get some health. Alright, so this is the Manticore. You just want to avoid his fireballs, and he always jumps to the opposite side that you're on, so you kind of want to follow him if you want to beat him rather quickly. Or you could play it safe. You know, it's up to you, but I prefer to try and beat him rather quickly. Not waste a bunch of time. Yeah, about the only way you're going to lose from this if you get hit by his fireball and you fall into the lava. Or blood, whatever. You know what I mean. But otherwise, nah. Not extremely threatening. Okay, now we got the castle. This level, it actually can be easy to die, because there's a point where if you screw up the timing of your jump, insta-death from spikes. So, let's hope that doesn't happen. It does happen to me from time to time, but I should be okay. Oh, wow. Yeah, those spikes. Those aren't the ones I usually die. Yeah, normally that'd be a source of magic. Those aren't the ones I typically die from. It's the ones later on. Because there's a 1-up, but it's kind of a tricky jump. You gotta time it just right, or you'll go into the spikes. So it's up to you whether you want to risk that. I mean, it's not that risky as long as you're just careful, but it can be easy to screw up. And yeah, that's just the way it goes. Got some health down here, so if you're taking a lot of damage at this point, just come down here, pick up the health, and you're good to go. You know what I'm talking about? Alrighty then. Yeah, I do try to defeat all of the enemies that I can. Try and get a good score. If I do that, I can usually get around 90-some thousand points at the end of this. I don't know if we'll break 100,000 points, but we'll see. Well, that's kind of pointless. The only way that would have been useful if you would have, like, jumped over that enemy and... Yeah. A lot of the points where they give you one of those instead of a source of magic, they're not exactly useful in those places. But... that's okay. Yeah, here's where it can be easy to insta-die at the top of this lift thing. Because there's a one-up on the top left. And if you don't jump just right, you go into the spikes and you die. So it's up to you whether you want to risk that. There you go, see? It's not that hard, but it can be easy to screw up. So, that can happen. But otherwise, this level's not exactly difficult. The boss, though, the boss isn't really too bad. The Zeppelin Wolf. He's not too bad. He can cause you some damage if you don't really know his pattern, but he's not too bad. Not too bad. Oh, this game has such great music. Telling ya. There's some full health, thank you. Whee! Sorry, sir, it's not gonna happen. Oh, 2-on-1. Come on, man. I can't handle that. Okay. So yeah, he starts off as like a wizard. I'm not too worried about taking a few hits here and there. It's not a big deal. You can get some good hits on him there. When he's about halfway dead, he'll actually turn into the Zeppelin Wolf. Oh, sometimes you can take him down before he does it, but looks like that didn't happen. That's okay. Yeah, as the wolf, he'll start kind of jumping from wall to wall. It's kind of annoying, but nothing too crazy. Good times. I think we're making some good time here.